I shared, of course, it was in executive session, I don't get into that because I don't want to cross the line.
Talk about it.
But I shared, well, you can talk about it, I'm not going to
Okay.
share something that could get me in trouble, you do that. But I shared with council concerns, some more of which were clarified as recently as today, that we haven't had an opportunity to make you aware of. So when I make my decisions, which I've been doing for over 40 years, I gather my information, I look at the facts, and I make a decision, right or wrong, good or bad, I'll live with it. Because I'm a man, and I'm okay with that. But based on what we found out today, some things may open up. I haven't had a chance to share it with you. But you all want to interface like this, go ahead.
So I'm not challenging on how you process information and how you make decisions, because everybody on council and you have to make decisions. So I'm not challenging that. I'm just asking a simple question because Attorney Griffin, like I said, clearly articulated to us. We had other recommendations. You decided not to take any of the recommendations. We asked, do you have a second person? You said no. You said only Ross. So when we came down and we...
No, I didn't say that at the time.
You did.
No, I did not. I did not say only anyone.
You said...
I didn't. I made my
No,
recommendation.
you said Ross. You said Ross, and we had, okay, if we're going to vote down Ross, there's someone else. You said no. So that's why I'm asking, because Attorney Griffin articulated to us that if we don't have a chief of police, then it's Sergeant Garrett. Sergeant Garrett's out on leave, so she said the next person will be Officer White. So I'm saying, do you think she was wrong in the advice she gave us as our city attorney?
I already answered that question, but let me
Is
give
that
you
yes or no?
one. Let me give you one. Even though it was in executive session, right? Did I not give you reasons and concerns?
You did. And
Okay.
so
Now let me give you another one.
you gave us
Let me-
reasons
no,
and
no,
concerns.
let me give you
You
another
gave us
one.
reasons. You gave us reasons and concerns
Let me give you another one.
particular people, but
Right.
but I'm not asking about like who you appointing as chief of police. I'm asking, do you think Attorney Griffin was wrong because you didn't go with the advice she gave us? I want to know why you didn't go with the advice she gave us.
Because of the reasons I shared with you, that we were waiting on information back and we didn't know who that was. You're quoting a piece of what took place, but you're not giving it all. I gave you specific reasons, and so did the city attorney, that there were things that we were concerned with. And let me share something else with you, because Councilman Rowland asked this question, and I really didn't recall it at the time. Our exiting police chief recommended going to the outside. Call him. You probably have his number, so you can call him. So in following that recommendation, along with the previous concerns I shared with you, I made my decision, and I'm sticking with it.
But the only thing I'm talking about is the fact that you're saying that Ross is the lead, whenever clearly articulated that he is not the lead by our attorney. So I'm saying the reason why I asked that question is yes or no, because you're still not designating who Attorney Griffin said would be the police lead, and you're going off who you felt should be led by your own choice. So I'm just asking, just simply, are you going against the attorney? But I think you answered that question.
Don't ask me the same question for a third and fourth time. I gave you my answer.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
not going against the attorney. Go ahead, Councilman Jones.
Also, I would just like to put that she said that we was putting our city in a very peculiar situation with us being at a standstill upon us not wanting to accept your appointment in the way that the process goes because of what we talked about in executive session. And she said, I hope that one of you guys are bluffing. And as we could see, neither one city council nor the mayor was. And so when it comes to what she stated, Mayor, how was Officer Ross hired?
It's called an application, and we do a background check and several other things. I mean, it's,
So
is that what you're asking?
Yes, sir. So you have the background check upon Officer. Who conducted that background check for Officer Ross?
I've got 2 background checks.
I'm saying, who conducted that background check?
The most recent one, I'll have to look to see the officer's name at the top of it, to be honest with you, so I don't want to.
What officer? A Prairie officer?
Nope.
So you're saying, so again, this is about process. There's a process identified, and so there's the city charter, there's the ordinance, and then there's the personnel manual, are the three things that help guide our decisions. Mr. Mayor, you claim to look at the policy manual that you just dropped here, and in this manual states that there's certain things that has to happen when hiring somebody. So whoever you choose to bring before or make an employee. And so we are simply saying, you brought in Officer Ross. You're saying you did this last week. You did a background investigation. There's an application and there's all these things. You followed the process. You've had the committee, because the committee still does exist in our process, right?
Nope. You need to read the charter.
No, the charter doesn't talk about the committee, but the personnel manual and the policies talk about the committee. And this is why you're trying to confuse people, Mr. Mayor. We're simply having this meeting because just like the citizens are learning today, we're also learning about all the things that you're doing. You're not taking responsibility for the main things. How many officers does the police department have? You have not come to us and say, we have, whether that's 8, 10, 6, 5, we need 4 more officers and move forth the department. You're saying all these things you're fine about. You're the chief administrative officer and you're the mayor. All these things happen under you.
Yeah.
And so instead of taking the responsibility and say, hey, I dropped the ball, but now I'm here to move forward, let's start there. The question is,
What ball
when
did I
you,
drop? So
all the things you
I just
said,
wanna follow you.
all the things that you said you're responsible that's come before you in the last 30 days. As the chief administrative person and the mayor, who should have been meeting with the police, whether it be the police chief or now was our interim, you should have known what questions to ask and what information. And so I'm simply asking you, what process, as Councilman Jones asked you, who did, if this just happened last week, you don't know who did the background checking. You before us, we should have that documentation, the application, and all these things that you should be able to disseminate. The attorney asked you the same thing, so where is it at?
Good point. Let me tell you what you learned in training 2 Saturdays ago. And in 9 years, you should really know. In the item says, for today, discuss, consider, and take action on administrative functions, including personnel, budget, and policies for the Prairie View Police Department. You don't give a time frame, you don't give any specificity, you don't give any names, and you want to come up here telling me what documents I'm going to have? I know Councilwoman Williams.
Attorney Zach, I would like to ask that we go into executive session authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.072, deliberations about real property, 551.073, deliberations about gifts and donations, 551.074, personnel matters, 551.076, deliberations about security devices, and 551.08, economic development.
The only one that would be applicable would be attorney-client consultation, and if you have a legal question, we can go into closed session about that.
Okay, you want to make that motion? You want to? Councilwoman Williams? Move.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn into executive session.
Under 551.071, attorney-client consultation.
551.074.
What's 4? Wait a minute, I thought 4 was personnel.
One.
Should be 1, right?
Think it's
Consultation with attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you've heard the motion, ready for the question. All those in favor say aye. We're adjourned into executive session. Ms. Johnson, what about 6:50 or whatever the time is?
It's 6:50.